All right, good morning, my name is Maj Anderson. I am the safety officer for the RTI, and today we're going to talk about spring summer safety. So, safety. Safety is continuous. It's it's all of our lives, every part of our lives, no matter if we're here in uniform or at home. It impacts our lives no matter what. So, I'm going to talk to you quickly about summer and spring safety today. At your tables, there are some small pieces of paper, kind of the same size as Sudoku. This is the one time so you guys can actually draw it and doodle during class. If you're on your cell phones, if it's going to be work, if you're on Facebook, well, I won't take it away. But on these papers right at your table, you can draw things on here, but it's going to be the guidelines of what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to talk about safety and everyday items that remind me of life. I'm going to give some examples of some safety stories that I have, and as you demonstrate this to you guys can kind of draw. At the end of our class, we'll talk about the tables, and I'll ask for a few volunteers to talk about from the class. And when you discuss your stories with people, they'll talk about, hey, what's the situation, what happened, what went wrong, what was the injury or accident, or what was the close call, and then how could it have been worse? And I'll demonstrate this for you guys, so don't worry about it. All these facts I have on here are coming from the Minnesota Department of Public Safety, Crash Facts 2015, or the Minnesota DNR for boat and water safety statistics. They're all 2015 because 2016 has not yet been released. Okay, dairy cows. You guys think, what does a dairy cow have to do with summer safety? How do I tie in a regular object that we all see into safety? How do you get a whole herd of dairy cows on the road? How do you guys think that ties in with safety? Anyone can think? Really close. All right, motorcycling at night. This is my safety story. Years ago, I was at my parents' house, had a motorcycle, I was riding at night, beautiful summer evening. It was around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, it's dark out, upper the corner up here. You don't see very far, you got your headlights on, and I'm going at good speed. I'm not going super fast because it's dark out, I don't want to overshoot my headlights. So I'm riding down the road, there's no one on the road, and I start seeing these white spots on both sides of the road. I'm like, what the heck? I can't see anything because my headlight's going straight. I hit my brakes, come down pretty quick, down to 10 miles per hour, and I can start looking, and there are dairy cows on both sides of the road. The farmers' cows, they got out, and they were walking back to the farm. They were heading back home on both sides of the roads. That day, I almost became a statistic. Luckily, there weren't any in the road, and they were following the law, I guess, and walking on the sides, which was really nice for me. But that's how I take it daily. So whenever I see a dairy cow, I think of motorcycle safety. So that's how you tie in a daily object that you see every day into safety. I see a cow, I see motorcycle safety. So in 2015, Minnesota had the highest number ever of licensed operators for motorcycles. And we also had over 238,000 registered motorcycles that year. Luckily, we had 61 fatalities and over 1,200 injuries. So takeaways though for motorcycle safety. Number one thing, always wear a helmet. Over 60% of fatalities of people were not wearing a helmet. And in another case, you think, well, 60 weren't, that means 40 were wearing a helmet. That's actually not true. There's a percentage of numbers in there, whether they can't determine whether or not the rider was actually wearing a helmet or not. I'm not sure how that works out, that they can't figure out if the rider had a helmet. But like 12 or 18%, they can't determine whether there was a helmet on the rider or not. Ride within your limits. If you're a new operator of a motorcycle, you want to take it easy. Get out there, ride, get your skill, gain confidence in riding on your motorcycle. Take a motorcycle safety course. I do believe the Guard still offers reimbursement for your course. You go on the safety site, and there's some information on there. I know as of last year, 2016, you could get reimbursed for your safety. I'm not sure if that's going on for 17 or not. I get some head nods that is yes. Don't drink and ride. Over 47% of fatalities have alcohol involved. Couple drinks on the motorcycle, not a good idea. And be situationally aware at all times. Know where you're riding, know who you're riding around. One time in traffic, I was riding in rush hour traffic, and I saw about from a half mile forward that nice wave of red tail lights and brake lights coming on. I had about a half a second as that whole freeway blocks up. I did something right, because when I got done doing what I did, I was looking at the guy next to me from the shoulder, looking at the driver next to me. Somehow I was able to quickly maneuver and come to a stop. And I was like, wow, well, that was amazing. I don't know how I did that. I can do it again. But that was a good wake-up call for rush hour traffic riding. All right, my next story. Common nut. How does this applies to summer safety? Any ideas? It's a good one.
Hold up your bike too.
Close.
It does.
Camper safety. This is a story that we were traveling together with some friends who went to South Dakota one year, and this is almost the exact same picture. This is the non-aerodynamic. This is your inefficiency for your vehicle, making life, gas station every 2 hours on your car. Ugly, but fun camper for those guys. He did not do proper PMCS when he attached the ball hitch to his vehicle. The ball hitch goes on there, you should have a couple nuts on there, or a lug nut, or something that attaches on there and it can't work free. Well, we were driving back home and he pulled outside the road because he was having some sway issues on his camper. Life wasn't going good for him. He was like 8 miles per gallon, and it was bouncing. Something was not right going on the freeway. He pulls over, we kept going. He gives me a phone call a couple minutes later. Hey, do you happen to have a wrench for, and I could use to tighten up my nut on here? I'm like, no, I don't. I'm that big. He found some guy in the middle of nowhere at some rundown, kind of creepy looking gas station that I wouldn't have stopped at myself. But the guy had a tool and he's able to tighten it in. He was about a quarter turn away from losing his camper that day. I mean, it worked down the entire shaft of the bolt, the very bottom, and hung on there. I'm not even sure how it hung out there that last mile or two as it bounced down that old bouncy road to some haunted gas station. Once again, the smallest things, the smallest details in our lives, if not looked at and checked, can be catastrophic later on. So for camper safety, one of the biggest things, match your vehicle with your camper. How many guys have campers or trailers or whatever else? How many guys have actually made sure that your vehicle can tow, not just tow the vehicle, but can stop the vehicle?
I had to buy a new vehicle because my vehicle that I had was not rated for a camper. It pulled it fine, but if you get in an accident in the state of Minnesota and your vehicle is not weight rated for what you're pulling, and there's a death involved, your insurance company will not follow it, and you will go to jail.
Which is really good to know. So as you're towing your trailer, know how to tow your vehicle. Know what happens if it starts swaying. You know what techniques you be doing. Know how to brake properly. And what to do if you break down. Have a tool bag. Keep something in your vehicle. Once in a while, if you're on a road trucker, every 2 hours you're getting out of that truck and you're walking around that vehicle. My friend didn't do that. I think he probably looked at that thing the first time. Maybe we were in South Dakota, come back, but he never checked it every couple hours. He never did. He almost had a very interesting day. PMCS your camper. Check your tires and your bearings. How many times have you seen a boat trailer or a trailer on the side of the road and the bearings are fried out on there? Do you have safety chains? Are you using them? Are they attached to the trailer, or are they kind of half welded on there? The first time it actually does, it's going to break right out. Also, check your brakes and your lights in the back. Make sure they're operational. And when you hit the brakes in your car, do your tail lights come on? Your brake lights come on the camper? So during this time, you can be writing little notes on your pieces of paper or anything else, and share your tables? A washboard. Okay, this isn't in your everyday current item. You know, for most of us, it's something you guys keep as a keepsake from your grandparents or whatever else. All right, so washboard roads. That's kind of my lead into this one. How many of you guys like mountain biking? All right. I like the mountain bike. I believe in taking a solo vacation once every year if I can. I like to go up to Cuyuna up here, State Park, in the late fall when there's no one up there. Great time. I suggest it. Well, not in the week I'm there. But go up there, and it's because there's no one. The campsite's real good. The trails are empty. There's no one on there. It's an awesome time. This is my third day of my trip. It's my very last run. I can barely hold myself after 3 days of biking and kayaking up here. My arms are burned, my legs are burned, I'm tired. I got a half mile to go, I'm back in my car, I'm gonna go home. Going on a trail I'm not really familiar with. So you know guys, I'm biking on trails. You got the trail at the top there, it's narrow. It's about a 45, 50 degree angle down where I'm at right now. No trees, and it's a bunch of rocks. I hit some washboards. At this point in time, I'm close to exhaustion, and it's a trail I'm not familiar with. So I'm riding on my bike, I'm washboarding, and I'm trying to hit my brakes because I'm washboarding too fast, and as I'm braking and washboarding, I'm bouncing towards the edge. And as I stop, I'm about 4 or 5 inches from the edge, and there's no place for my foot to go. I'm looking for something, and there happens to be a small outcropping of rocks, just about my front tire is. I get my lean up there, get my foot on there, push myself so I fall onto the trail and not down in the ravine. So in something like this, I could have been seriously hurt. It's a long ways down there. You know, it's about 30 feet down in the rocks. I like going in when there's no one there because there's no one there. And this time, though, there was no one there to hear me yell or anything. I'd seen one person all day, all morning on the trails. So I would have been hurting down that bottom of that hill in the rocks. I had a helmet on, which was great, a cell phone, if it would have made it downhill, I don't know. But, you know, when you're out biking like this, you need to keep in mind what's going on and where you're at. So, for some bicycle safety, our annual statistics for Minnesota, about 7 bicyclists each year are killed and over 850 are injured. In 2015, there were 10 fatalities and over 870 injured. So the thing is share the road. If you're a bicyclist, you need to share the road with the cars and automobiles. And if you're in a vehicle, you need to be aware of bicycles on the road. Failure to yield is the #1 cause of accidents. And that's just #1 cause. It's for bicycles and for cars. As you see the third one down here, for the bicycle and vehicle collisions, half of them are due to bicyclist behavior. Some bicyclists are not really good road sharers. They think they own the road, they don't go through stop signs, yield signs. How many times you've been going through an intersection, you got the green, and all of a sudden here goes a bicycle, shoot right in front of you. You guys, hope you never see that. If you go to a college campus, all the time. Second half of the thing is driver error, same thing. They're not paying attention, they're on their phone texting, they don't see a bicycle. They don't see the bicyclist who's shooting through the stop sign because he thinks he owns the road, even though he has to obey the law. This person's on their cell phone, not paying attention to anyone else. Bad combination. There is a bill right now that I think it's in somewhere in Minnesota, which is going to state that for cell phone usage, it has to be completely hands-free. No more even calling on it. It has to be completely hands-free. I'm not sure where that's in right now in the legislature. I don't know how to know. So, some takeaways. Wear a helmet. It's a good idea. Watch where you're going and know where you're going. So in the instance I had, I was watching, but I was tired. I was fatigued. I knew where I was kind of going, but I was unfamiliar with the trail, and I was going pretty fast because I was having a blast. If you're on the roads, anticipate vehicle actions. If you're riding at night, have a blinker or a light on there so people can see you. Be bright and be visible. reflective stuff on your bicycle. Maybe you have even a reflective vest or something on there. If you're riding at night, be bright. Corn. Nebraska, yes, no, but close. Fishing. So I got some kids a couple years ago, corn and baiting hooks. My little guy, this is my youngest one, he's pretty pumped up because a good day of fishing, we caught nothing, he caught something small, he's happy, hey, we got something. However, a couple years before this photo was taken, I didn't get to fish, all I did was bait and release. At that point in time, I was just putting corn on hooks for my kids, and they would fish, get some of the little sunny out the dock, and they would take it off. Well, this little guy, he was like 4 at that time. He was anxious to get back into the water because there's all those little sunfish down there. So I'm holding onto that little hook, and I'm putting the corn on there. What do you think he does? He jerks the line, and he catches me. Right? He's not a fish. He impales it into my thumb or my finger. I can't remember what it was at that point in time. I look at him like, ow, I can't say anything because I don't want to have him give me bad habits. So stop and pull down, pull the pliers out, remove the hook from my finger, and then, put the engine on there. So yeah, as you're just small things in life, once again, I was just putting hooks up, baiting hooks. You gotta be careful. It's the small details that'll get you sometimes. So boating safety in Minnesota in 2015, we had 18 boating fatalities. We had 71 non-boating injuries and 35 non-boating drownings. We're a PDF. For kids, up to a certain age, it's not optional, they have to. Know your boat. I own a kayak. I own a small kayak. It's all I have. I think friends should own boats because I don't want to trailer them to the dock. But I own a kayak. I know that I can go certain areas, certain lakes at certain times. I don't want to play with big boats. My 12-foot one does not play well with massive yachts. Good. Know the water. How many times you guys are going down to the lake and you look over and you see a stump in there? You didn't think you see that one. If you're in a lake and you don't know for sure, get a map. Talk to people who are around there, find out the danger areas. If it's high water or low water that year, what's your activity? Are you tubing? Are you skiing on there? Are you up for an afternoon ride in the pontoon? And know your abilities. Are you a seasoned 20, 30-year boater, or are you brand new to a nice 200 horsepower boat? It's like driving. Know what you're doing, keep your skills up there. And don't drink and boat. All right. Give you a minute or a couple minutes to go to your table and talk about some of your stories. I hope you guys have written down some things. Give about 2 minutes to tell some stories, and I'll ask you guys to share as a group.
I have a lot of stuff in this thing.
Let's see. There you go. Still trying.
Why would you ever be on a motorcycle? It's like, where no can.
You said
I learned that by pedal bikes.
I was right. Well, that's part of the
Oh, yeah.
also the other side
Or make sure your shoes are tied with those plates too. My shoe isn't wrapped.
Oh yeah, it's yeah. And I'm not saying that, no.
We're taking it 12 speed. Remember trying to do it.
Well, yeah, sure. So, that's my emergency. It's all a stage. Remember that part. But it's basically all training for the state. It's not equipment.
I guess
Some states get new equipment. Place where they can bring it together, stuff, install, then do
you're like, yeah, like we'll be down there, like we'll be down
and we're
there.
getting so, you know, it's a good connection, so it builds a relationship with the guy that runs it. Even if it's something we don't do, right. What do you get? The pros feel that for all the reasons to really so.
All right, does anyone have a story of an event that you'd like to talk about? You know, whether it's a piece of corn or fish or message?
I was out there one day, as a lake. I had to wait for the order for the load it up. But the guy failed to do was, he hooked us a strap, pulled it up on the trailer. He did not use the safety chain. Nor did he use the strap either around or the straps in the back. So he pulls out, we load up our boat, and straps it down the chain properly, take off. About 6 miles down the road, the truck and the car were in, or the truck and the boat were in the ditch. The boat had blown off the trailer because it wasn't tied down properly. And it caused the truck.
Anyone else have a safe story you want to talk about? I mean, I got more, but hey. All right, if that's it, you know, safety isn't just for you, it's for those around you, it's for your family, for your friends, your relatives, coworkers. If you're not around, kind of good. Any questions for me around safety for spring or summer? If not, city council meeting will start in a couple minutes. I do believe Sergeant Tremblay wants us to put the tables back in rows so we can all give a hand real quick. And it's 3 tables per row, with the front facing the front.
That front row, we can establish that, and everybody follow example of that front row. Put this table right here. And here's the front row.
So at work, we just.
And the knee guards go towards the front. Modesty panels. Yep, one more over there, make a total 3. There's one in the corner. There you go, we're getting 3, we're doing good.